Hi, hello, and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again. So recently I, made a video saying I'm kind of chilling out, waiting before I play some PoE again. And I've been thinking for a little bit, thinking about what upset me and pretty much. And I guess I'll talk to you guys a little bit about it. Might sound kind of silly to you guys, but it kind of sucked to me. So first off, of course, I have been thinking about new builds. Even though I haven't been playing PoE, of course. Depending on, or it doesn't really matter what game I'm playing on PoE. But people are going to constantly ask you, about whatever game they're familiar with you streaming. So essentially what happened is when the beta hit, I told myself, I don't really want to play Fire Trap too much anymore. I've been playing it for a while. The game is changing, the meta is changing. Let's try something new. So, at first I kind of wanted to play it just to see, like, what they did with it. But I decided, it's all good, I'm not going to play it. So I played Fire Nova Mine, I played a bunch of other crap. And I found something kind of like that I really enjoyed. And the style that I started playing was dual wielding. Towards the end of the closed beta, I probably played 3 different dual wield characters. I believe I played a dual wield Wander with Twizzles just to showcase, what you're able to do. And the bonus for dual wielding is a 10% multiplier to attack speed and a 20% multiplier of physical damage. So it worked out okay. It could have been way better things. It actually wasn't beneficial to dual wield because you could just use a strong one-hand wand and you're fine, but I just wanted to see how far I could get with Twizzle specifically. Then I played a dual wield Reeve character that was so much fun. It's probably the most fun I had on a character in a while for leveling because you just hit so quick at such an early level. And the reason why is you really make use of ambidexterity, which the way ambidexterity works for people who aren't aware is you can make your offhand your main hand weapon. So if you use a skill like Reeve alternates hits. So it hits once with your main hand, and then the next time you attack it goes once with your offhand. Main hand, offhand, main hand, offhand. If the skill cannot be used by one of the weapons, it will not use the weapon. And the reason why you can still even use the skill, even if it's not compatible with the weapon, is due to the fact that it alternates. Since it alternates, it will pick whichever one it's able to use. So if you were to have a mace in your main hand, or whatever Reeve isn't compatible with, an axe, and a sword in your offhand, it will force yourself to constantly use your offhand and not your main hand, thus making the use of ambidexterity for 20% increased attack speed for 1 point. That's extremely strong. That's insane. Some skills that can't really make use of this are things like Ground Slam or Ice Crash, to my knowledge, because they require your main hand weapon to be used by the skill, because they use your main hand weapon. So I think Ground Slam, like it literally says, uses your main hand weapon and deals this. So your offhand could be a stat stick, but your main hand needs to be like a mace, for example, for Ground Slam itself. So you would just gain the attack damage, which is still not bad, 26% attack damage for 1 point. And I've been trying to play around with dual wield characters and really kind of bring them into this current meta. And I personally don't feel that they are very successful compared to other melee classes, such as like two-handed Ice Crash builds, where you can just scale 200, 210%, 225% life and run Enduring Cry and Endurance charges. In my opinion, those out-excel the other characters. I'm not saying the other ones are bad by any means. I just feel that in this current league, evasion is not very looked up upon. It's kind of looked down upon. Of course, I could totally be wrong, but that was my personal experience with mapping in the closed beta and playing through in the closed beta. The game is much more built around, in my opinion, around mitigation via whether you're doing endurance charges with Fortify or armor. I feel that these mechanics are actually very strong right now, and it's very difficult to build a dual wield character based off of armor, because many skills really, if you're dual wielding, you want to go crit to bring out because you're using the offhand. So like if you do a dual wield Reeve character and you're going to the Marauder with RT, you could do it, but if you're going to use Reeve, you're going to use swords or daggers. You're not going to use a mace or an axe because you cannot. And the only sword clusters going on the way to Marauder would be something like Razor's Edge, Blade Master, which is accuracy. I mean, they're both accuracy, which I guess that's life if you're going RT at that point. Or you could make like a weird shitty version of a crit and get like disemboweling, but it just doesn't really fit right. And again, this is just trying to fit in dual wield. Cleave doesn't really feel very good. You know, Reeve hits a very large portion of the screen. Cyclone doesn't work out very well unless you have two good weapons. So it's just, I guess the way that I want to play dual wield is not really very good in this current state for me. So I was really bummed about that, and that, you know, that kind of sucked because that was really what I wanted to do. And then my fallback is always Fire Trap, and my fallback, I guess, would still be okay, but nothing like what it is currently on live, or well, was, because now our live is not beta anyway. You guys know what I mean. So you know, it was a little bumming at first. So I was like, whatever. So I've been thinking a lot about characters, and I went all the way back to my old summoner, if you guys remember. It's my level 93 hybrid summoner, and I just respec'd it to work for this current meta. So this summoner right now is 93, and I have not done the three Act 4 quests, so I should still get 3 skill points, which would go Jewel, Jewel, and Jewel, assuming I have, you know, appropriate jewels to actually match in. I need to work around with the routing a little bit. I just wanted to do a quick sketch of how the character would work. And with the reduced mana change, I'm actually able to run 2 additional auras, and here's why. With the introduction of the reduced mana change, I now don't have to run a reduced mana, which means my Prism Guardian is open to put in another aura. Furthermore, they reduced Discipline's mana cost and brought it down to 40%, which is kind of like a Purity, and not 60%. That's another buff to me. Prism Guardian still stayed the same, so I still have an insane awesome reduction. Therefore, Prism Guardian is really, really good right now. Whoops, rip Dex. Dude, that ring gives me so much. Yeah, actually, it doesn't really. It's a combination of stuff. Does this have Dex on it? Dude, this gives me like nothing. This ring gives me like no yes. Shitty ring, man. So anyway, I was playing around with this character, and I was looking at the gems and stuff, and with a level 19 raised zombie, 19 because when the gems, like when they redid the gem evaluations, everything got like bumped right below 20. They gained an additional 5,000 HP, and they still have another level to go. I'm not exactly sure how far up they're going to be. But again, I was playing around with this character, and it's really, really cool now, and here's why. I'm currently able to run, before I would run Haste and Hatred on Generosity, and I would run Purity of Elements and Discipline on Life. Well, now I can run something a little different. Now I could run Purity of Elements on Life with Discipline on Life, and then again I'd run Hatred. I'm putting them up here so you guys can see, but normally they'd be on Generosity, which would just plug in right there. So there's Haste, or Hatred and Haste. I still have a decent amount left. I could actually run Vitality as well, right there. I still have enough mana to do everything I need to do to cast, so my mana is still fine. You know, I could do anything I need to do. Furthermore, I also have the ability to run Grace on my life pool, and many people would think like, why Grace? Grace literally gives me 6,000 evasion if I put it on. That's pretty fucking big for 6,000, so that's a pretty cool point. So there's a lot of cool things I can play around with these reduced mana changes, because, you know, I was the first one to stay. I don't usually jump towards the negatives, even if I do dislike something, like for example Tempest League. I'm not a big fan of. You know, it's my opinion. The mechanics of the game aren't bad. I just personally don't like it. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? I just repeated that for no fucking reason. But again, who am I to say this game is bad or whatnot? You know, just because I don't like something doesn't mean I still can't appreciate it. So, but I'm really keen to try this character out in the league. And again, I believe I have 3 additional skill points. You know, Jewel Socket, and Jewel Socket. And there's the new Spectres out, so it's going to be fun learning the Spectres, trying to figure out what combination to do. If I remember right, someone was telling me that the Spectres I want to use are really cool. I think I saw Angry using them. I like tuned in for a second, and I saw the Spectres in general in maps, and I was like, that would make an awesome Spectre. And then I actually looked over at Angry's stream, I think someone hosted him, and he was using them. I think they're called, I forgot, the Revenants, the spiders that go like, brrr. Those looked really badass. You know, I was thinking about some stuff, and I heard Angry talk about his Avatar of Fire, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Because Arc and Ball Lightning are great to apply curses with. Even Magma Orb might actually be okay. I don't know, to apply curses, but you've got Avatar of Fire right there to switch up to deal lightning damage, but I don't know how that would work for a single target because of my summons, so that's something I have to see. And but still, if you can make something kind of efficient, maybe not more efficient than you were playing before, but at the same time you're having fun doing it, that's what matters. You don't have to have the best build, but you got to have a build that allows you to have fun and enjoy your life. So that's really important as well. Wow, my chest piece gives me 3,000 energy shield. That's actually not that much. I guess it's because I spec'd out of a ton of ES here, trying to just rebuild this tree. So I actually would gain more effective life too, now that I think about it, if I had the 2%. I don't know how many of them you can run, but I know there's a jewel you can get from Merciless that gives you 2% reduction, or not reduction, but 2% reservation. So I don't know if I can do 2, 4, 6 or mix it up and do some other stuff. But there's also one other thing I want to show you guys that I'm able to do, which was really cool, I thought. If I walk over to here, and this can get buffed as well, anything can realistically get buffed right now, and walk out of town here, and press C and go to defense, I actually have a 256 energy regen in combat per second. And again, I could modify anything I wanted to. Say I didn't want to pick up Charisma, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. I could mess around, maybe get, I don't know if the jewel reservation stack, but I could get reservation here and here. Might be able to run it. I'd probably run it off life, drop haste, or drop grace. Mess around with something else, and bulk up my ES pool more. And then I could go into here and get another jewel socket while getting more life regeneration. So there's a bunch of cool things I can really play around with. Also, to kind of scale grace, what I think I'm going to do is maybe drop like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go like, see, if I put the point here, right, so I swap that point and go here, then I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that way I'm dropping armor. I'm dropping a tiny bit of ES, but I'm gaining armor. I'm gaining recharge rate, which is pretty cool, and I'm gaining evasion to scale grace. So that's kind of another cool way to play it around as well. So let me check if I can do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't actually do that right now. You know what? Let's try it. Maybe I can. Let's see how much evasion I get. So let's go over here. Let's check out the currencies tab. I also might not need to run purity anymore either. Purity is totally dependent on my summons, because I'm fine. I don't really, actually I don't think I need it, do I? Am I 135 on everything? I am, yeah. I don't need purity at all. So let's play around here really fast just to check. We're at 6,500 evasion. So let's play around some respecking. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That hurts a little bit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 for nullification. And that bumped our evasion to, what are we at now? 7,700. Not bad. I mean, for just, a 1-point change, that's an extra 1,000 evasion. So that was pretty cool. And then I've got these two hybrids right here as well, which are pretty neat. So again, there's a lot of, I guess, scaling. There's a lot of cool things to be found out with my current summoner. And I really like it. And I still have 1,000 health open for chaos damage. I guess I could change it around. Or one thing I might not do is I might drop Zealot's Oath maybe for the state of this current thing, because of the way Tempests work to chaos damage. And there's some scary ass chaos damage. So I might not run Zealot's Oath. I might not even run Vitality, I don't even know. And instead I might just like, I don't know, I might drop like Purity just to gain a little bit more health. How much health would I go to? Let's see, let's drop Mr. Purity here. 1,300. Oh, if that was only 1,337, then the build would be complete. So that's another option as well. If I drop these 3, then that's 3 points in the ES. That's another like 300 energy shield. Or I could go probably here, 1, 2, 3, and get a jewel socket. That would be pretty cool as well, with an additional 0.8% life regen per second. So I've got high hopes for this character. I don't know exactly when I'm going to play it, because I know a lot of people are going to ask me. Whenever I come around to coming back to PoE, which will easily be within a couple of days, a week. I will state this now ahead of time, that if I don't end up playing PoE within this next week or so, I will most likely not appear on the podcast because I don't feel that I will have relevant information to post, and I don't want to be the guy that's on the podcast for no reason. You know, I only want to be on the podcast if I legitimately have information to contribute to it. But, you know, that's just the cold hard truth. You know, I'm hard on myself, but at the same time, that's how life should be, you know? You don't get excuses for stuff like that. So, you know, I just wanted to keep you guys informed and whatnot of what is going on. But in the meantime, you'll probably see me on Skyforge. Keep your hopes up if you want to see me in PoE. Probably about 3 days or so I should be back. For a little bit, you know, that's all. But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. I hope to see you guys all tomorrow. And I'll catch you guys, I don't know, later? Yeah, I'll go later. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.